Starting. Hey, hi, this is the hashtag CDC whistleblower. I'm with at Tanner's dad, and I'm with at CES Dave, and we are looks like being under attack by Twitter bots and for the CDC whistleblower hashtag. And I knew nothing about this, but Tim knew everything about this. So Tim, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the first slide I created, which is just the test Vax bot. It's a blue egg. It was initiated October 2014, 37 days ago. And Tim, do you have that picture where it's the very first time they initiated a Twitter account, and they started with parts of our tweets? Can you go a little bit about what it looks like they're doing starting in October?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Basically, what today we're talking about is the process of setting up a computer account that automatically tweets things, and either can be directed as program tweets, or the computer actually goes out and steals parts of tweets and then puts them out as media that relate back to a different point of view. And with this process, they can actually flood out a tweet and make it to a tweet stream so that it makes it irrelevant. Up to this point, parents and real people are tweeting real feelings about what they think about the CDC whistleblower situation. And now we have a computer that's going through, and 37 days ago, they actually started putting out an account called Test Vax Bot, which isn't very creative. It has a blue egg as its logo, which is the first thing when you set up an account. Right now it has 4 followers, and it's following 8 people. Some of those people are University of Washington professors, and some of those people are people that do set up bots for a living. So we think that's where this attack is coming from. Basically, 37 days ago, they kind of went through and put out a bunch of pro-CDC whistleblower things, and then in between, they would put out every 10th message, they would put out a message that was anti the parents' point of view, and the fact that Dr. Thompson came forward and said that the data was altered in the 2004 study.
Okay, so that explains the history. 37 days ago, they started this Test Vax bot with the blue egg on Twitter. It looks as if it's initiated out of the University of Washington from, and I'll try to pull that up, but I forgot to put that on this thing. Can you tell us a little bit about what it looks like it's initiated out of, Tim, quickly?
Basically, let me go through, their very first tweet started with the CDC whistleblower hashtag, and then put http:// which we know it's a bot because it says Test Vax Bot, but the blue egg is a big red flag. No link gets cut off in the middle of a link, in the middle of a tweet. So to have a link go http:// means that they didn't even attempt to put a link in there.
Okay, so let's pause right there, Tim, because really we're trying to talk to the main tweeters for the CDC whistleblower hashtag. So what you're saying is, if you have anybody who tries to follow you that tweets in a way that the hashtag is not a URL that goes to the proper place, that's your first tell that there's someone you do not want to follow, right?
You should not follow this, you should not retweet this, and you should talk to us about these people that are doing that. If you want to DM me anytime you have a question about somebody who might be a bot, but the big red flags are, number 1, they say they are a bot. Number 2, they don't put a logo. Number 3, they have bad links. And we're trying to put out information that is reportable, that any reporter can go to and see our meme, see the link, and go and have credible information to actually do a report on the CDC whistleblower. Everything about the CDC whistleblower is newsworthy in the fact that we're reaching over 420 million impressions now. We have a credible doctor that still works for the CDC and everything else like that. That first tweet went on to say, my child won't be invited to parties because he is not broken stock. I mean, so again, most of us, all of us wouldn't put out a tweet like that.
Yeah, no. There's no question in our minds, Tim, that this is the only leap that you've made, that we've made, is that because of the originating tweeters, it looks like they're these professors at the university in Washington that specialize in this exact thing, which I'll try to put a link to at the end of this. Okay, now let's go through some of these original. It started getting blasted 19 hours ago. I have a picture.
Let me go through that first day that they tested 37 days.
Okay.
The next one said, from a great parent. We don't brag about being great parents as in that form. The CDC policy should be made without toxic ingredients. You are, but together it. They're you know, in Twitter you can misspell, you can use mislanguage, but again, most of us are at least high school educated, and our sentences make sense. So,
right.
I mean, when they put it in you are, but together it, they're just jumbling the words together so it looks confusing. And
okay.
the next one.
Go to the, now let's go through, before we run out of time, the different tweeters that we know were some of the first followers of the Test Vax bot, so we know for sure that these are fake. And we'll start with the Ron Trump one.
Okay.
So that was number 7. It says at Autism Free Brain. It's at
Okay,
Ben.
so this one, Ronald Trump card. They actually put a picture of Ronald Trump. So, I mean, the real Twitter handle for Donald Trump is real Donald Trump. And so they're doing Ronald Trump card.
Right.
It only has 7 followers. It actually is following a few more people, 48. And they go through and they actually are using Autism Free Brain is a sponsor of Age of Autism, is a legitimate account, but then they take parts of their tweets and put it out in something that can't be linked. And then, again, like the next one is Autism Radical and Ben Swan, and then it says, I was involved in deceiving millions, but no explanation. So it takes part of the CDC whistleblower's quote and then puts it out there in a form that's just going to confuse people.
And Tim, to just explain to people, my understanding from what you're saying is these are computer-driven models that go in, take parts of tweets, disassemble URL. Just the computer does all of this with these fake accounts.
But the computers does, I would say, probably 90-95% of it. But the program that they're putting out, they're tweaking it so that they're putting out specific messages that are designed to take down the CDC whistleblower campaign and movement to educate young mothers-to-be on what to do.
So let's just be clear. In a lot of ways, this is a huge compliment to what we've gotten to.
Okay, so number 6 is Susan Eastwood. And again, it's only been created in November 2014, so it was created in the last few days. And it only has 8 followers, and it's following 39 people. It tries to capitalize on human rights, the Ferguson. It's just kind of putting out a bunch of things that really are not connected. And
these flowers tend to be fake profiles too. These flowers that they use.
Right. Yeah. Generic pictures, and then another red flag for an account is there's no location, and there's no explanation, and there's no link within the description of the account.
Not only that, but in this particular case, the timing was all clustered together. I mean, there's there's 15 different things that tell us this is all one unified effort.
Right. The number 5 example is Carrie Wolf, which they're trying to say Cry Wolf. She has 9 followers. It has 9 followers and only 7 following, and is going through and referring back to some of their hashtags. Every child counts, and again, they're just throwing out a lot of unconnected eyewitness report from Gaza. No shelters escape the Israeli. Thank you to March with Him in Zuccotti Park. I mean, they're just weird over. Don't rush the Ebola vaccine, says L. Solomon tweets. I mean, they're not moving the conversation forward as far as teaching young mothers what the dangers of the vaccines are.
They're trying to muddy it up, is what you had said before. They're trying to muddy up what, and the other thing you said to me was that we've been right this whole time, that what we need to do is always have our tweets contain a link with the reference so that each tweet is a standalone education module. Okay, so now license to drill.
Number 4 example is so easy to see. It's created in November again. It only has the egg. It's called License to Drill, and it's License to Drill S, which I'm not sure what that reference is. The one they just did 19 hours ago was a retweet of mine where it says, I know that parents worry about whether vaccines are, and that's the end of the quote. So anybody who knows how to retweet actually puts in the meaning of somebody's tweet, not cuts it off.
Right.
And and what they will do is they will lull you into following them with these bots, and then they'll come back with propaganda that matches with their side.
So the biggest thing that we need to be doing right now is the new hashtag that we were initiating. We want to steer clear of for a few days. I won't even mention it here, but any new hashtag that you've seen in the last week, steer clear of. And don't retweet these people. Don't follow these people. And okay, now we're on Francisco, a soldier.
Which is, again, they're capitalizing on, which to me is just absolutely just like the guy that dressed in a military uniform. You're taking advantage of the military. You put Francisco, a soldier, but then the name, the ad is Francisco Hambot. I mean, they're not even disguising the fact that this is a bot. It's got 6 followers, and it's following 47 people. It's only tweeted 34 times. It's not listed anywhere. So those are the 4 telltale signs. It's only created in October, doing exactly the same thing, taking parts of other people's tweets, and then not making sense with them.
Okay, and the next one, no, we've already got that one. And then Bernardo Hambot. Oh my God. So now we're on the last one, Bernardo Hambot.
Again, just created an egg. Officer Bernardo Hambot, 3 followers, following for starts. This one is designed to capitalize on the Ebola thing, and everything starts with Ebola, and then it goes through and then muddies the water into saying absolutely confusing stuff. Like this one says, Ebola for safety with current childhood vaccines can and does cause symptoms. Some of them will lean towards our side, but then once the program is up and running and they got followers, then they're going to hammer it home with their messages and their links and their propaganda.
So this right now they're in the trap stage. They're attempting to trap and ensnare and entice and invite the people that are legitimately working on the CDC, whistleblower.
Right.
Okay.
At 420 million impressions, this is groundbreaking water, groundbreaking messages. We've never been in a situation like this, and they don't know how to handle it. We know that they have said that they didn't think we could make a dent, and they underestimated. We know that's their position.
Okay, so now quickly give us the line items on what we need to do about it, other than avoid any new hashtags that we were planning on rolling out.
Your own tweets. We don't say anything about what you can put in a tweet, but we're asking you to be as credible as possible. So again, where possible, put in a link to a news story that somebody else who's put your journalism hat on and say, if I was going to report this on ABC, NBC, CBS, or CNN, Fox News, how would I reference this? Is it to a Dr. Thompson that works at the CDC, a Morgan Van Camp, lawyers, a link that actually works? Is there something that if I went in as a reporter, I could put together an instant story from your 140 characters?
Okay. So, and we're just creating all the backstory on the timeline, making it clear as a bell that this was an invested in effort from a localized group of people that initiated it in October, but then went full steam ahead 19 hours ago. And we're just trying to abort their mission, basically.
Right. If anybody has any connection to media, if this is not a story, it was a story when we've got 420 million impressions, and it was a story that the mainstream media totally doesn't talk about it. But now that they're flat out attacking what we put forth, is even more of a story. Because the fact that all we're asking is when do we get our grand jury for our children, and how do we stop it going forward for the mothers that are just about to have a baby? I mean, how did they get educated in what's going on?
And I'm just trying, so in this digital activism research project that has the principal investigator of Philip N. Howard, who's the professor of communication, information, and international studies at the University of Washington. Can you tell me more about how you connected it to that?
When they were doing the initial testing, the 5 or 6 people that each of the test bots were connected to were people from the University of Washington, and I was able to dig through and see the biographies and the blogs and the things that they were talking about and what they do as a profession. And it connects back to people that create bots. Not the average guy on the street just can't go up and create a bot that's going. This is technically sophisticated things that are out there that they're doing. And not the average guy on the street can do what they're doing. We know when we had the event in Austin last October that one of the accounts was using 55 different IP addresses, which only can come from a major institution like a university. So
the only leap of faith that you made, that you're thinking that this group initiated this, is that just because their email was associated with this Vax bot means it's them, or where's the leap in there?
I don't think it is a leap, but if I was putting on my investigative journalist hat, is I don't have a corroborated evidence of saying that this professor has said that he's doing it, or could I go to a court of law and arrest him for doing this? This is not breaking a law. This is messing with social media, and so this is games that people play when they're controlling media and controlling situations that are out there. This is PR tactics.
And Tim, don't you think that this is my suspicion? When I read Digital Activism Research Project, what this university is doing is basically covering their ass. They're creating a project at a university that says, oh, we need to go out there and figure out what works and what doesn't work, so that they have a way later to come back and say, oh, we weren't trying to mess with what they were doing. We were trying to research the impact of this type of thing. Don't you think? Tim? Paging Tim. Are you there? Tim, we lost.
Go ahead.
Tim. Okay. I was just saying, Tim, that when they read this, when they go to tinyurl.com/#hijack, and they can read about this principal investigator, and they can read what's called Digital Activism Research Project, it looks like a cover for exactly what they're doing, which is hijacking a hashtag for somebody else's gain. But
right, and at this point, we can't. That would be a leap. I don't want to even inject my opinion into this situation. I'm putting out there that I've given you 10 examples of bots that just appeared to be active in the last 10 hours that are deliberately targeting the CDC whistleblower campaign in a negative way.
But then how did you connect it to this link that I got?
Again, because the initial thought that was set up 37 days ago was connected to professors from the University of Washington.
So that's as far as it goes. Anything else an investigative journalist person would want to do, they would have to connect it further. But this is prime for like a Cheryl Atkinson, Ben Swan and Alex Jones, Mike Adams, Mercola, RSB. This is like perfect for that.
John Rappaport, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else they'll need moving forward if they want to investigate this?
I have a couple more that I feel are bots. They're connected with bots.
Okay, quickly.
Paula DeFleur, Paula Granger, Ellen McGill, ran at Bizoo Mad.
And again,
Richie, RICHII.
And I have to say, don't get too hung up on an individual name of a bot, because the computer can add, at the rate they're going, they could probably add hundreds or thousands to it overnight. I mean, once the program is set up, I've seen campaigns like this just absolutely flood out a hashtag. So this has been done before in political campaigns and political messages. That's the way you shut down political campaign Twitter programs. I mean, this has been done before.
But again, I go back to holy Toledo. A bunch of moms and dads with passion put on their hats and went to Twitter and attracted an organized campaign to shut them down? Wow.
Yeah, there's real money behind what's going on. Again, when the pharmaceutical industry has $1 million a day in the budget to lobby Congress, a couple thousand, hundred, they could probably do this under $10,000, what they're doing right now.
Right. Okay, any last words, Tim, before I shut this down?
Anybody can talk to me anytime at Tanner's Dad. Follow me, I'll follow you back in private message, and I'll give you my cell phone, my email. I will visit with you day or night. That's one of the easiest way to find that people are real, is if they're willing to be credible, meet you, talk to you, tell their story, and you can see their story. Everybody involved in this that is credible has been at it for years and years and years and years.
Right, so, totally.
My real name is Timothy Welsh. I am a contributing editor for Age of Autism. I've been at the Autism Advocacy for 13 years. I've been in social media and marketing for 40 years. So from early on, I've been doing social media marketing and computers, and I know what's going on in this situation.
And he's the only reason we picked up on this. Everyone else was just la-da-da-da-da, let's keep going. And when you first put this out there, we're like, what? What is that? So the things that people need to do are tweet more, but tweet only with the older hashtags, tweet only with links to actual references whenever possible, and don't follow anybody that you cannot confirm has been at this for, more than 3 months.
And again, at this point, we have broken the internet and take the message to the streets.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. And to Facebook and to any friend and your Thanksgiving. Oh my God, at Thanksgiving, they said, what are you all thankful for? And they said, Dana, you start. I said, I'm thankful that I have such a skill set that I can make visuals that help in this movement. And I just dropped it like a rock on the table. They didn't never even ask what I was talking about. Anyway, okay, and Candace, you're at CESTAVE with a VE. So it's at CEESTAVE. Candace has a ton of visuals on her Twitter page that have the actual hashtags and tiny URL small links that go with it. So if you need resources to tweet the actual stuff, she's a great place. Same with Tim, who's at Tanner's Dad. And the Twitter bots have arrived, but we are aborting their mission. Thank you.